Hey everyone, as you probably have guessed from the title of the video already, this is not your average weekly in-depth Gwent guide because I originally wanted to do the deck guide about like the Eist warrior deck I've been playing the whole week. But since there's a creator who actually is not me, I felt like, why should I do the deck guide? Let me get you straight to the creator. Let's discuss the deck a bit more in detail. And so I'm here and I can proudly present to you Freddybabes.
Hey, I'm Freddybabes. I stream on Twitch a lot of Gwent, pretty much every day, kind of European morning-ish times. And I also make a lot of YouTube videos here on YouTube. You might have seen me in tournaments before, but yeah, happy to be here.
Awesome. Cool, now that you know Freddybabes, let's head right into the discussion. As many of you know, I've been actually playing Freddy's deck a lot through the last week and I actually made a lot of videos about it. And so now, since I have the master here, I was thinking like, maybe instead of I'm talking about the deck, maybe the master himself should speak a bit about the combos and the synergies of the deck. And this is why Freddy's here. So Freddy, can you give us a quick rundown? What's important?
Sure, so the main idea behind the deck is to have the Eist pulling out a warrior, right, in round 3 as your kind of finisher. And usually you want that to be Knut, because Knut plus Vildkarl is like a really, really powerful play. It's like 21 points, which is obviously very, very good. Not many things can match that in terms of a 1 card plus leader play. So ideally you want to get Knut in the graveyard before round 3 for your Eist to work on that. Alternatively, you can use it on Jutta or Heimdall, depending on like the version that you're running. I think playing Jutta and Beckers is a better kind of finisher than Heimdall and Hjalmar, because it's a little bit more finicky to get that one off. But really, those are kind of the endgame combos. It's either, depending on the version you're running, the Jutta with Beckers or the Heimdall Hjalmar, or most of the time Knut plus the Vildkarl, which is the big bomb finisher. You don't want Vildkarl to get answered by their removals, that's why you do them in the same kind of last play or whatever with that card combo. And apart from that, you just have stuff like Olaf plus Knut, which is obviously very good and in a lot of common, value Skellige decks played these days. You also can use the Svalbard Totem to kind of work, maybe even with Harold to activate Vildkarl if you don't have Knut in hand or don't have him in graveyard. That's something you can do. And likewise, you can damage Olaf with those cards to get extra value from his ability. And of course, you have Coldwell in there as well, which is a really nice one to pair up with Jutta, because if you have the highest unit, a unit higher than 12 strength for that Jutta effect, she won't take damage from her abilities. So you can boost Coldwell up in some ways, or boost Olaf up potentially above 13, maybe with tactical advantage in round 1, or comboing with Knut and the Totem with Olaf, for example, and that can give you the Jutta without having her effect damage her. Alternatively, you've got Spores, you've got the Beckers to kind of push. If you're not running Beckers, then you've got to kind of throw Heimdall away in the graveyard, which is partly why I don't think it's as good of a version, but those are kind of the main combos.
A lot of synergies.
Yeah, indeed.
Actually, when we're talking about like the deck, how would you say, like, if you would say you have a round strategy, like you have round 1, round 2, round 3, and since you have a lot of discard cards, for example, like where do you typically play them? Do you play them round 1 to basically set up your deck for round 3, or do you sometimes say like, yeah, I'm keeping back on my discard cards and then use them later? Like how do you manage them?
Yeah, well, typically with the discards, you want to use them before round 3, because if you don't, then it can maybe, brick your hand a little bit. You might draw a couple of cards that are really bad with a burner or with a coral or whatever. So usually want to play them earlier, but they are kind of these like really powerful plays that you can, hold on to. Maybe you don't want to use them in round 1 if you're already quite far ahead. You can save them for later or whatever. You play a couple of bronzes out. Round 1's kind of the setup round. You maybe want to get stuff in your graveyard, do a little bit of thinning if you can, and all that good stuff. Round 2 is for bleeding if you won round 1, or just surviving really if you didn't. And then round 3 is kind of where you get your proper combos off and hopefully have just a lot more points than the opponent.
If you want to actually learn some more about the deck, Freddy has a deck guide of this deck on his YouTube channel, so go over there, subscribe to him, check out the deck guide. Then I think it's more than 10 minutes just him talking about the deck, so that's where you get the details. We're just basically, actually, when you haven't watched it, maybe go watch it now and then come back to the video, because what we're doing right now is actually, we are on the basis of the deck guide, we're going a bit more in depth. And actually, one of the first questions I have for you, because you already talked about it, there's the Heimdall version, and then there's the Twisted Becker's Mirror version. Why, for example, do you think the Twisted Becker Mirrors is better? Because for example, I really love the Heimdall version.
I mean, yeah, there's pros and cons to both. If you're running the Heimdall, you have the potential of a really crazy finisher with Hjalmar, right? For potentially like 16 points, which is even more than the Knut Vilkal kind of thing that you can do. I just think Heimdall's it's a bit too hard to get the value from when you're not comboing it with Hjalmar or whatever. So a lot of the time it's just a 4-point card for 9, which is pretty bad. And you can discard it, but then obviously you're discarding a 9 provision card, which doesn't feel particularly good. And yeah, Becker's is just, it's usually going to be at least sort of 8, and with Jutta you can get 12 or even more if you play maybe a Knut onto Jutta or something like that beforehand. So
I mean, there's a benefit to Heimdall which Becker's Twisted Mirror doesn't have, and that's like you can't resurrect Becker's, right? So the good thing is, like, even if you don't get value from Heimdall, you often force, for example, a lock which could have maybe hit the Olaf, which you don't want to like have the Olaf soak, for example. And if it's on a graveyard, you don't really care, because like you want to get the Heimdall out, and then you just play like the combo from there, from the graveyard. With Becker's, you need to have Becker's in hand round 3, so that's kind of like a bit of the difference. But I think it's really a style of play. The positive thing about Becker's, which I really think is, and that's like probably like why I don't play Becker's, because when I play Becker's, I often use him offensively, or most of the time I actually use it offensively. Yeah, because I see boosted engine versus Dana, for example, and I'm like, yeah, I want to kill that engine, now there's Becker's time. But I could probably get more value off it later, so I'm like, better don't include it, because I want to get the combo in the end, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, yeah, Heimdall's definitely like baiting maybe a Regis or Lock, as you said, yeah. Yeah, and you have a lot of points with the deck in round 1, round 2, whatever, so you have the space to drop it. It's not necessarily a bad way to play the deck, for sure.
Sometimes it sticks,
Sometimes, and when it does, it feels pretty good. Although the one problem is there aren't that many warriors in the deck. Maybe you could tweak it to include a couple of extra ones to really actually make that work, but...
Yeah, mostly it's actually just for Heimdall. To be really honest, typically you don't use him except for the end combo. And that's that. So yeah. So that's both versions. You can check them out, try them out, like what feels better for you, and then just find your own way of playing. One thing we also like wanted to talk is because there's currently a good tier 1 deck, which is the brand value deck, and then there's also like the Eist deck, which I think is tier 1 as well. Like I've been like, I think like 10 or 11 games I've won with this in a row, so like thank you for that.
Wow.
But for me the question is like because a lot of the cards that are in Skellige decks are shared, so there's not that many difference between like the Eist deck and the brand deck. In like the Eist deck obviously includes cards like you want to combo in the end, but like let's say the core, like the whole discard package, and then like to get good cards, that's kind of like the same thing. So what would you say like is the benefit, for example, of both leaders? Like you have Bran and Eist, so to say.
Yeah, well, I mean, it should be pretty straightforward what the strengths weaknesses are, right? Bran is giving like thinning with his ability. You get to get rid of 3 bad cards from your deck and draw new ones, which is obviously a pretty damn powerful ability, and you get a couple of points on that. You get points on all your discards. So Bran, I kind of view it kind of like the Gernakora of Skellige in a way. She's giving you a bit more value across the game, not so much in round 3, and that's where Eist picks up the slack. He's the real like finisher leader if you'd rather play.
He's the woodland. Yeah,
exactly. He's woodland, and Bran is Gernakora. Yeah. So it just really depends which style of play you prefer. As with Gernakora and woodland, they're both viable ways to play monsters. It just comes down to whether you prefer, being consistently good across all the rounds, drawing your good cards every time, and instead of with Eist, where you maybe sometimes don't draw perfectly, but you have a little bit of extra finisher value, which can put you over the edge in some games.
Another question when we talk about these leaders, actually, because there are a lot of leaders that are good continuously over the whole gameplay, like Krach, there's Meave, like they all put out value consistently, while there are leaders like Dana, like Eist, as we just said, but also like Kalanfi and stuff. What do you think are the advantages of these leaders, and like where are the disadvantages? Like where do you put, or where do you pick which leaders? Also, for example, in a tournament, what's your choice behind this?
I mean, that's kind of a tricky one. I think in general, provision, the amount of provisions you have is also pretty important, right? Like, you probably don't want to play Usurp, even though he has a powerful effect a lot of the time, just because of the low provision count. But I would say a lot of leaders are viable, and it probably just depends what style of game plan you want to go for. Are you a controlling type of player? Do you want to remove all the engines, deny engine decks? Do you want to go for more of a point slam approach and have big finisher value that the opponent can't really interrupt in any way? So yeah, stuff like Crack is probably perfectly good as well, when compared to Bran, Eist, and some of the leaders not so much, but that's maybe just because of the faction not enabling that thing, like with Calvite or whatever.
Yeah. It's actually what you said in like your last 10,000 subscriber video. By the way, congratulations.
Thank you.
This guy got wait, there we go. This guy got 10,000 subscribers, guys. And so what he said is actually or what you said was that you enjoyed the meta a lot. Like, there are so many viable types currently, and like the only leaders that are not viable currently, or I heard this currently from your talk, is that they're not supported that much from the faction. But other than that, it's the meta is really cool, right? Like,
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably 2-ish leaders viable. Like, you can actually win quite a lot with them, which is always nice. And there's loads of leaders in the game right now. So maybe.
Then there's one question for you. Why is there no Krach, and why is there no... Well, let's say, why is there a few Krach and Arnulfs currently in Skellige?
And what?
Arnulfs. Arnulfs.
Oh. Well, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Crack's quite good. I've played against it quite a bit, and it can definitely win. I mean, they've got all the, some of the new cards are really good, like Primal Savagery and the Sword potentially, and whatnot. So I don't think they're bad per se. It's probably just that the other alternatives are a little bit stronger, and whenever there's a stronger alternative within the faction, you kind of just people play that instead, right? And Arnulf, I mean, he's just kind of not as good in terms of the points he can generate, I guess, as the other finisher leaders, which is probably why he doesn't see too much play.
Even though there's a lot of good combinations with Arnulf, like you can think of Gregoire, you can also think of the just like targeted Scourge card. What's called like I'm not prepared, as you can see, but you know which one I mean. But basically what we're saying, or what Freddy says, is like, go and try it out, like experiment a bit, because like I think Krach still has a lot of potential as well. Arnulf, maybe there's some interesting combo there you can like pull off. I think it will surprise people, but so
yeah, for sure.
Cool. Anything you want to like add to the whole Skellige Eist thing?
Not particularly. I mean, you could mess around with some different cards in Eist. Definitely. I was thinking of playing with veterans maybe instead of longships or something like that, just to get a bit more consistent Becker's value, and you could maybe even try playing Sigdrifa's Right as well. I'm not sure how that would go, but there's a lot of, like, people like to net deck and just play whatever they've seen, right? But there's always potential to kind of modify and optimize maybe a few cards here and there. So yeah, just keep that in mind, I guess. So
go forth and experiment. That's
exactly.
That's the message is. Okay. So thank you very much, Freddy, for being here. It was a pleasure to talk about the deck. I hope it helps you guys. And don't forget to check out Freddy's channel if you haven't. And then I would say, well, thanks for watching.
Thank you.
There we go. Now actually we have 2 burst leaders, as we said before, like one combo leader and one like I wanna get some 8 extra value in the end. We have Cole, and we have one special card that's already pretty cool.
Yeah, that's nice. So, what I like to do generally is get rid of the book, because you usually want to play Harold round 1, because it's one of your like really good cards, right? So,
but Butcher and Harold is a good combo, right? So
yeah. I mean, even in round 3, it's like 7 points for Butcher, maybe even more. So
maybe Ravager?
Not a bad card. Yeah, one Ravager can go.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably get rid of one Butcher because it's going to be maybe awkward to play them both. But
I will find target for it. Worst case, I don't know. We play it on one of the small bloods.
True.
So in this case, like the question is, do we start with Longship and already buff it up to 9, because then he can't play the riders. I mean, he can play the riders anyway because the longship, so it doesn't even matter. Maybe just play longship and keep it, or we start with Harald. What do you think?
Yeah, I think longship's fine to go with. I mean, you could boost it, but
Yeah, let's just keep it for now.
yeah, it's probably fine not to.
Yeah, he can't play riders anyway, so
Yeah. I think it's kind of good if they have a Geralt, to get the Geralt out from them early potentially. But
I mean, the thing is,
why
do we just like kill it with? No, well, we can't kill it right away, but like,
no, we could play Coral or just Primal Savagery. That's one way to deal with it. Plus the longship ping.
I
That's
mean,
probably what I would.
this is pretty good actually. It's a 7/5, and like we can kill a Thrive unit. So I would actually be tempted to go with this.
Yeah, I would definitely shoot with the longship.
Yeah.
If you use Coral on it, you're basically guarding a 5-point card, right? Because you get the extra 2 points.
Yeah.
So, will our other cards be worth more than 5? If not, then
Actually,
play
it will
Coral.
be like most of them are actually worth. Let's actually go get Coral out, and let's.
yeah, that sounds good. You can play the Skirmisher as well, or we could wait and play Spores. But I'd probably get rid of the Skirmisher. It's probably a bit.
Yeah, I mean, like
safer.
it's safer because Coral may get killed right away. Do we actually? I would buff the longship here.
Yeah, that sounds good. Deny the riders and whatnot.
Yes. And he can kill it right away. We may want to need it for the Ravager, for example.
Yep.
We're actually playing against Tactical Jesus, by the way. So shout out here.
That's a very good name. Okay, well, got a couple of plays, but yeah, typically if you can save Harold and Totem for the same round, that's really good because you can maybe just use Vildkar without having to play Canute. You
Yeah.
instantly get his ability off, which is
That is true.
really nice.
We actually. Okay, there we go. That's why we activated Crawl right there.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was thinking a lot already. So I think maybe we wanna. I mean, we either need probably Harald to set up the glitches, even though we cannot go with the build call, or we just go with the totem. So what in this case, like, what would you prefer?
I would maybe even go with a Butcher. I mean, that would kind of make you a little bit vulnerable to falling behind. But yeah, Harold is fine. Then we can probably push the round, right?
I mean, like,
So
it's
that
so
seems
important to win against Woodland Spirit, because if you have the last
Yeah.
set, it's. I would commit Harold here and just.
Yeah, that sounds fine. And we need to set up our graveyard with warriors.
They need us.
And actually, let's hit it by 1. So to distribute the damage, and maybe have like already some Bloodthirst opportunity. We'll see. And then we can always like just play the Butcher now onto the skulls.
Yep. Get the value from those. That'd be nice.
And like we still have like Burner and Morquick in the deck for some push in run 3 if we need it. That's good as well. I'm even thinking of keeping 1 Spore, because like we may want to use this onto an Osriel, for example. Maybe he doesn't play it on an immune werewolf, then we can even like get rid of the leader value here.
For sure. Yep. Could be pretty damn good. Although Foglet is a bit awkward.
We can bleed the Regis though if we want to.
Yeah, we can. And just hope the skull doesn't
Hit the Regis?
damage him. Yeah. I think that's a fine way
Let's
to go.
try. And there we go. And 50-50, perfect. Look at this. Oh, wait, actually, what?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was like, okay. Well, we can trigger Foglet for him. He
Yeah, you could shoot with the longship first, maybe. And
yeah. Let's trigger the Foglet for him.
The skull.
There we go. So.
Yeah.
Who's the courage to fight the Velcarls, eh?
There we go.
There we go. Nice.
That was good.
Good guesswork.
Sometimes luck needs to be on your side. So.
For sure.
And whatever he plays now, we can definitely ravage. That's good as well.
Yeah. Or even another Butcher, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. That's true. We'll see. Again, he's thinking, so that means really like pushing him in a good way. It works. The deck works.
Pushing his brain to the limit. Yeah. For sure. Alright. Pretty okay Ravager target.
Well,
Or Butcher. Kind of depends which you like. Would you? It's a bit risky to go with Butcher,
yeah,
isn't it? When
we have
there's
2 targets here, which
yeah, don't want them to tank the damage really.
I'll probably just like Ravage, and it's fine. Like to keep this maybe on the board for now.
Sounds good.
I need your hand!
And actually, let's hit it one more time. So if it doesn't play something higher than 1, it will die. If otherwise, we kill it next round because of the blood.
Yeah, we can kill it. That sounds really good.
Yeah, I think we're in a good state here. Like,
yeah, we're doing okay. One problem is we haven't got any ice targets, so we'll need to. You know,
well, maybe at
handle
least
that
when
at some point.
maybe when I get even the Olaf in the graveyard just for Yalma or something next round. Because we don't want to push round 2. That's the big problem here.
Yeah, I mean, if we get Knut, we could with Olaf Knut, so that's an option maybe, but.
Do we maybe play even this Wobbler Totem here so we can play Olaf in between and then play...
Yeah, that could be I mean, if we're going, very hard here, like a lot of cards, we can do that.
I mean, the thing is, like, I really want to win round 1, and I think he
Yeah, if
has
we
some
don't,
good
might
cards
get
there.
pushed in.
So
Might be in trouble if we don't win this round, so yeah, probably Totem is fine.
let's play a Totem here. Let's wait until this die. Let's actually kill the Nekavori here, because whatever he plays, it will thrive, right? So, bye-bye. And then let's see. If this dies, we also are in a good spot to kill the Herald at some point, because the chance that it doesn't hit the 1 is actually pretty high.
Yeah, it's not too bad. And then I guess, yeah, we got Butcher, maybe as the last play afterwards.
We can even play, like, we can also use the Herald tick for now to just boost the Olaf. So maybe just play Olaf.
And it plays around Geralt a bit as well.
Yeah. So we play...
Yeah, probably want to put it to the left, I guess.
Left?
Because if they kill the guy on the left, then you end up damaging your own.
Oh, that's true, actually.
Butcher guy. That's like a really
right.
small difference.
That is very true.
And for Knut, it also matters. Like you have to put him on the left for Knut. Otherwise,
True,
Knut,
but like we don't have Knut, so.
yeah, it doesn't matter for that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but it's good tips, good tips. I would say we also kill the Pal now, because...
Yep, that sounds like a plan.
And... perfect.
Nice.
So 14 points. That is good.
Yeah, pretty far ahead. Hopefully they're running out of plays, although... Don't hold
We
your
also
breath.
could have hit this to 7, so like... But on the other hand, like, if it will get boosted, he will still Geralt afterwards, so... in the end, it wouldn't matter. Also, it's probably better.
Yeah, it's kind of good to get it from them, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, especially because like in round 3, it's like would have hit us way more hard than now.
Yeah.
Let's see. He's picking again, so. Oh. Let's see. Crone's spear tip. What will come our way?
What fun times await.
And it's a Caldwell.
Caldwell.
Well, that is very risky, though.
Might be good for us, yeah.
I'm not too sure. Because he also didn't play any other Crone. Like, if he boosts up right now, then... Whew.
Yeah.
I would say we go right away.
Well, okay. I mean, you can click it, but you probably also want to play Butcher and Harold on it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Going now here.
I guess you could even bleed. No, probably.
I would hit the Protoflatterer.
Yeah.
And then we just go for big Olaf. There we go. I mean, let's see if he has Geralt now, because maybe that's why he played the Caldwell.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's pretty much the only thing that will stop it, right? Spear tip, not enough.
Yes, exactly.
Although, not winning on even or anything, so it's not crazy good for us, but...
I mean, the good thing is, if we get the Caldwell, then we have another, like, 10-point unit in the graveyard. Oh, look at the woodland.
Wow. Really going in hard.
So the thing here is, he's not ahead, but we have spores.
Yeah. That's pretty nice. I think we got to go for it.
I think there's not much choice here anyway, so...
Yeah, otherwise we will end up losing on even.
Yes.
If there's a Crone, then we might be in trouble.
Yes, let's hope. he already targets it. Look at this. And damage. Okay. Well,
okay.
that. We maybe should have. Never mind. Okay, now
It's
we.
okay. Well, we got his leader, so
Yes, that's true. So basically, we have card advantage now, kinda.
yeah,
Actually, we're on even. We're on even again.
We're
Let's
on
say it
even,
like
yeah.
this.
exactly.
Okay, I think we pass. Like, there's no way to.
Yeah, I think we have to.
I'd
Can
really-
be a little bit scary. But
We need to burn it now. I think if you get like some good push targets, then it's okay. Because I'm afraid that he will just Austral and like really push us forward. But on the other hand, there's backers, which we could use offensively again.
Yeah, that might actually be very good.
We could also keep
So-
the Marauder here.
Yeah, we might need to get rid of the skirmisher just because it probably will be dead most of the time. And then Morkvarg, yeah, longship's probably
or
better to get rid
longship.
of. So yeah, just in case we get a
Yeah.
discount.
Oh, there we go. Look at this. Sometimes, as I said, you need to be a bit of. You need to have a bit of luck.
True. Still, Eist is looking sad. We haven't
Yeah.
had Knut or Jutta or Hjalmar. So.
We have a butcher.
True. Yeah.
I think we just kill this right away.
yeah, that sounds perfect.
Let
Die,
us put our
werewolf,
steel
die.
to the test.
I mean, they might just be giving up the card here, which they could have taken on the pass.
Yeah, that's true.
Could be quite good.
Oh, there we go. Nice. That is
Nice.
amazing.
So we're just effectively a card up with leader now, although it's maybe a bad card. But
Well,
what
maybe we
do?
can trigger Wildcard somehow.
Yeah. or we can
Yana looks
discard
pretty
a-
good as well with the Olaf.
Yeah,
Just need to be.
that's-
We need just to be aware that he can eat our Olaf though. So
Yep, true.
let's look for the good cards.
Definitely.
I would say Ravager.
Ravager can go. Probably
Ooh.
Longship as well. Ooh.
Skirmisher?
Gotta be Skirmisher.
Oh my god. Well, the spores may actually prove useful.
Might be okay.
Do we go with Longship or Scald right away? Because, you know.
I guess Longship, maybe, in case we want to shoot Neckers or something. But it doesn't really make a difference, right?
At least against the Neckers, it's like
Yeah,
we have
doing
enough.
something.
We have something. Or, well, against werewolves, not so much.
Yeah.
Let's see what we have here.
Pester me.
Morkvarg, I choose you. Okay.
No?
Huh.
In deck.
So the question
So
here
annoying.
is, what to do with our Eist friend?
Yeah. It's not looking too hot. But, yeah, I guess you take just a Berserker guy. We could probably at least enable the Beckers. With Longship or whatever. Maybe
Or
not.
not. Huh. So the thing is actually, now we need to play something. We don't have any targets for it. Like,
Yeah, it's not ideal. I guess we can just drop a Ravager or whatever. Or
I think
whatever's
I'm
at
gonna-
least valuable.
yeah, I want to keep the spores, I guess. So
I mean, Spores might be doing the same job as Beckers, so maybe getting rid of one of those is okay.
but the thing is, if we use like if we use
if we use
cultist,
Butcher.
then we could at least play 4-point Beckers.
Yeah, that is true.
Ah,
Yeah,
we'll
so-
see. We'll see. Let's play the
Kill, maim, destroy.
and then let's see if we find a target for Yalma. That may bite us in the end here.
Possible. They
There's
can't
so
have
much-
immune units only, right?
Yeah, there's so much immunity currently on the ladder.
Yeah, it's true.
At least,
I mean,
like,
that's kind of good for us, right?
yeah, we have a spore target or a Becker
Yeah.
target.
Although
Oh well.
you may have to play, something kind of dead here. Again. I guess
mean-
we just go with Hjalmar.
That's the question. I mean, like, Hjalmar is still a good potential to kill something, but on the other hand, like, that's what we probably do with Beckers anyway.
Yeah.
Except he plays the little spear tip, then like this will be better.
It's kind maybe Spores will be the least valuable. I don't know. Kind of hard to know, right? I would probably go for the Ice though, with the Spores, so that you can get the Marauder out, Butcher, ticking. Otherwise, the bleeding won't do anything.
Yeah. Oh well. It's not the best match of Eist I've been playing. But that's what we're talking
sure.
as well. Like this can happen when you play Eist and not Bran, because Bran can be set up. And you got rid of the bleeding. But now we got so another question.
Not a Hjalmar target.
I would say Becker here, because like Yalma finds value whatever it is, like regardless if it's
That is true. Yeah. Although Becca's is not, it's only 6, right? But yeah, like I guess you gotta go for it maybe.
Good that I'm in control of the mouse. You can always say like it was Cricket who lost the game. Well, we have 6 points. Let's see. Now I'm really. If he doesn't play like a giant, now we have a problem. Yeah. Well, at least we can kill it. So.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
on crates coming for ya.
And now the big question. I think it's an Australian that he wins the game.
Yeah, pretty likely. Right?
What? Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay.
With the worst hand imaginable.
Yeah, that's. Oh, Woodland again. How nice. Oh, we're on red this time though, so. Oh, look at this. There's a Knut.
Okay, good
No
hand.
discard though. Do we want to get rid of spores maybe here? Or
I'd probably keep it. I'm always getting rid of butchers because
Really?
I don't know.
But you have
I just don't
Harald,
like. Yeah, but I don't like really playing in round 1.
Sure.
Just feels bad, but I mean.
2 spores is too much though. So.
I agree.
Oh, it's a winter spirit. Huh. Let's see. Let's see how this will develop. It's interesting that Woodland is now becoming more popular again.
Indeed.
So, I mean, we could either go with like a long ship right away. You always say like you want to keep Harald, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can play him round 1. It's just like I don't like playing good cards round 1 if you can avoid it.
But we have so many good
Just
cards
set
here.
up. It's true. But Harold's just like he's only good, right? He's not
That's
set
true.
up. Whereas Canute is, getting him in the graveyard is important.
Let's frighten the Neckers here.
If anyone's playing them,
Yeah.
I've seen them in a while. But... That's a Wyvern. That's a
Well, that's
really good
theoretically a
Savage
Savage
Return.
Retard.
yeah.
Let's do that. Let's do it.
Sounds great.
There we go. Getting 7 value here. And denying the thrive.
Yeah.
Beautiful. If you look at all these cards, what are the cards you would like say you want to play round 1? At some point I want to play Knut for the Eist, but also Totem maybe, right?
Yeah, maybe Totem. You can play Totem, yeah. You could play Harold, since you have the Canute. You can get him in the graveyard and do Vilcarl every time without worrying about that. Backers you can also play. And I mean you could even do that on the onto the Plumard if you wanted to. But...
The question is like, it only really has synergy with the Utah, yeah, right? So.
Yeah, 8 for 9. I mean it's not the hottest thing ever, but it's okay, I guess. It's more of that backup finisher if you have Yutta early on.
Well, theoretically, you could also play Spores here for 5, so...
Yep, that's perfectly fine.
Let's go with Spores.
Kind of like that more.
Yeah. And then we could even, question, do we need to hit it? Yeah, let's hit it. I mean, like, I always like the points on his side than on my side, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. Plays into Greg a bit, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't, like, that's the
They usually have that in Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we could back as the boat, or could play Totem or whatever. Definitely want to get Knut out, so...
But if we could back out the boat and then, like, we have a Knut target, maybe?
Yeah,
Though
I
it's
mean,
not
I don't mind
optimal.
just playing Canute maybe onto the Bear Abomination, killing the Plumard, just... maybe denying that if they have another one. I mean, really, he's just a setup play. You don't need to worry about. If you don't have the Olaf, he's not going to get that many points. Right?
Actually, let's keep the ship for now. Now he has, like, 2 ones. But no Gregoire.
What's Becca's targets?
8-point backer.
A lesson in humility
Huh.
coming now.
And Caldwell.
So,
Interesting.
the question is, wait, we can boost this to 9 and we can hit this down to 9. Then there's a lot of 9s.
True.
So the question is if we...
Yeah.
Do we want to Harald and, like, try to disturb this a bit, or...
I don't know. I would say we probably won't be able to push all the way, so we'd probably end up trading down with Harold. but I don't mind the Beckers because it might be a bit awkward to use later.
Then
And
let's
I
hit
I like the line of hitting Coldwell and trying to steal it seems pretty good.
There's a
No,
chance
probably-
here, maybe.
There's a chance. And if we do, we win on even. And
Yeah,
it's
and maybe he
joyous
gets
and-
maybe he gets Crones out for that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or Cyclops. But
Yeah, well, Cyclops is actually pretty okay here, especially in the cold. Oh, look, that's good. as well.
ooh, that's also very good.
I'm actually fine, like, theoretically passing here, to be honest.
Yeah. Pass sounds perfect.
We are
The
quite
scariest thing
behind.
would be, if they eat Canute with Ozra, that'd be scary, but
That's
I
true.
don't know if they'll go for that.
And if he does it in round
Then
2, we
it's
can still
pointless.
drop the Yalma. Maybe we can even kill the Yalma somehow, I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
I mean, it's good. We have the spores and
Yeah,
one of
Spores
those.
is maybe fine to keep, but I'd maybe get rid of the Skirmisher because you have another one in deck.
Yeah, I'm thinking, like,
Possible to break yourself.
what's the chance of finding them?
Yeah.
Okay, there's the push.
Oh, and they're pushing. Okay.
I mean, we just, like, click crawl right away, right?
Yeah.
Just-
Check out what we're getting. Probably discard Morkvarg first, I guess. In case you get a Skirmisher. It's fine.
I was like, I would even like. Actually, keeping spores is probably not that bad because like he may also. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
But,
true.
you know,
Well, we'll see.
it's fine. We most of the time wanted to discard it anyway because I'm sure we won't get pushed all the way here.
Also, like spores was good because now we have like 2 enabled Ravagers,
Yeah.
or
Or
not.
not.
But we can
So,
play
I
ship,
mean-
so
Could play ship. You're also thinking of Harold maybe, but yeah, ship first is okay.
let's go with the ship here and then like maybe the Ravagers can push a bit.
Yeah. That
A
sounds
bit.
good. A little bit. As much as a 4 Persian bronze can, but
Yeah. I mean, it's like 6 or 4 in the best case, so
it's not bad.
Just for you.
perfect. Look at
Okay,
this.
and there's the Harold removal gone. So, yeah. I mean, we could try to stay ahead here by going for the Vilcar, but it's probably not worth it, right? Vilcar plus leader, so probably just going
I would keep this forward
Ravage is
free.
fine. Yeah.
Let's just open the pass. Oh, wait.
No.
Yeah. Yes.
Of course we have to. Damage first.
Kill me!
It's nice that we don't even need the longship now because there's already a damage unit,
Yes.
right? So easy
yes.
peasy.
I mean, he theoretically could play the last Crone, so
Yeah.
look at this. So now we need to be a bit careful here.
Yeah, big plays.
I mean, it's 15 points. Like, we need to... We could just play Totem, theoretically. That would enable us the 10 points to catch up.
Yep,
We have the
yep.
bleeding.
Well, what about Harold? Will that get there? Because if we can play him, then, you know, it would be nice to get him down, right? And start clicking the skulls for points.
Get up!
Yeah.
Well, Fred!
It's still
And I
fine
guess we have to... Yeah, we're perfectly fine, I think. For now.
for now.
For now.
Let's see what the Austral does. If there's an
Yeah.
Austral. I don't
Maybe
think
it's
he
being
eats
saved
our
for
Canute,
round
to be
3.
honest.
It's unlikely. I mean, even if they eat our Canute, we can probably still get Vildkal to work.
Yeah, and we
Totem
can,
and
like...
whatnot,
I would
so-
even play... I would even play, like, a 5-point, like, Yalma here. Okay.
Okay, doesn't do very much.
Good. So what are we behind? We are 13 points
Quite a
behind.
bit. So if we get Totem down, we can always, you know, win
We
the
can
round
worst
with
case
Vildkal should we
Vildkal.
need to. Yeah.
I like the Totem though. I mean, on the other hand, like if he kills the Harald next round, which he probably will do, maybe.
Yeah, it's possible. So you're thinking of Ravager?
I have like because then we get a bit more of the bleed. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, Ravager's fine.
Actually, let's.
Probably want to click the Herald as well.
Oh, well, that didn't turn out so good.
Coming to get ya!
We can still play Totem and it's fine.
Yep, should be okay. Do we have a good Hjalmar target? Not really. right
We
now.
have like a 5, so
That's not too bad. I mean, he's even a card we can play this round and then resurrect if...
that's true. As if he really wants to like end this round, like we have to. Oh, there we go. Okay. So this is currently an 8, but like we have 1 point bleeding, so we could
And
just...
we can use a Herald proc as well if we need to.
Yeah.
I mean, playing Hjalmar might be better though.
Because of the option? Because this one?
Yeah. Well, more so just because you're probably only going to get a max of 8 points on it anyway, and the totem's 10 kind of, right? So
Yeah, it's true.
so I
currently
think we
we
go for the Hjalmar.
8 and we 24 plus bleeding, it's fine. Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe let's...
King first, yeah, why not?
1,000 thunder and sea devils!
Not the Knut, not the Knut.
Yeah, that would be catastrophic. Okay. And yeah, we also have a practice play with the totem, right? Whereas you don't with Hjalmar, so...
Yeah, Hammer is actually pragmatic
be-
because he has last play. That is
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Oh, that is double
Olaf's
interesting.
really nice.
That is
Yeah, I mean, that's even better with the totem as well.
Okay, we have like, look at this. We have like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
bombs, so to say, in the...
Yeah, we probably need to get rid of Butcher. One's gonna be... it's not terrible
But
with
you
Olaf,
can,
I guess.
you know, there's a lot of
Yeah, it's
synergy
not
here.
terrible.
My question is, do we keep this instead of drawing into those?
Maybe it's better to just hold it, yeah. Yeah, it's not really anything better, is it?
Let's risk it. Let's see. Do we start off with Totem here?
I think so, yeah. No reason not to, right? Unless you're really scared of Osrel eating your guy. But
Yeah.
that's the good thing about having the backup of Hjalmar, right?
Yes.
Doesn't matter if they do it. And we can
Excellent.
still trigger the Vildkarl even with Totem and a Butcher, so...
Yeah. That's why I keep the budget. Like, it's like they're worst cards to have in this setup, so...
True,
The
true.
question is like how much removal does it really have, because Crones are out, Geralt is out, so we may even be able to...
You could even play it just vanilla, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, true. So,
Okay, well...
do we try to set up the Olaf?
Yeah, I'll get Olaf now. Because you want to get the bleeding guy down as soon as possible, right? For the actual bleed, yeah. And then Yutta can maybe
Yeah,
maybe come down. I don't think she will, but yeah, probably not.
we'll see.
I mean, you could do the line of play where you proc the Vildkarl with Butcher, and you Knut on the Olaf instead of on Vildkarl. That'll technically get you than hitting Vildkarl with Knut, if that makes sense.
Question is also like, maybe maybe they don't need to focus on the Jutta. Well, exactly 12. Bastard!
Yeah, I mean, it depends whether you want to like really min-max here. You might get punished by a lock, or if you don't
No, I don't think he
insta-proc
plays
the
lock.
Vildkarl, so yeah.
Huh.
Probably it's just safe to go Butcher now, right? And click the thing and click the Olaf.
And then
But
you
your
Knut
Yutta
the
will end up being a
Vildkarl.
6, which isn't... Yeah.
So you do want to Knut the Vildkarl?
I mean, you could do that now as well, but then you miss a bit of value, so...
No. So what would you suggest here? What's the
Just
next
probably
step?
Butcher, I think.
Butcher and Olaf?
Yeah, and then click the totem and
Who's the courage to fight the
the
Velkarls,
Olaf
eh?
after that as well.
Well, I'm
It
sorry,
should be
Jutta.
fine anyway.
I'm sorry, Jutta.
Yeah, she's only 6.
I mean, the good thing is we're like point-wise we are quite ahead, and we still have the combo, so it's okay, I think.
As long as it doesn't get interrupted, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
Plumard. So honestly, I mean, you could probably just do the Vildkarl Knut now if you wanted to be super safe, right? It's not much.
I really don't think he will eat it. I think he will go for points.
Yeah, I agree, but do you lose anything? But I guess.
Well, Jutta
you
may
probably-
come
you
out.
maybe do.
Worst case, best case. Okay, let's play Vildkarl first.
Yeah, because if he goes Osrel, then Yutta will be 12, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So he might misplay.
Come out, my
Points.
friend.
21 points.
Show me
Wow.
what flows in your veins.
There he is. 16 to 43. That's Eist for you and run free.
Yeah, definitely
It's-
not bad.
And he even has the woodland buff here.
Yeah, even cars was pretty fair, but
Ooh, that was good.
oh, that's a big play. But
And now we
I think we're okay.
just get a 6-point Jutta, sadly. Well,
Could be worse though.
yeah.
20
I mean, like,
points
look
up
at
is
this.
not
Like, this is still...
too bad.
Yeah. And we have still 1 extra point here, so... Give
Yeah.
me 21 points, come on, show me. how to? Yeah, there we go.
Not
Nice.
gonna happen. Very good.
Big thanks to all my patrons who support me and make this possible, but also thanks to all of you who watched this video. Check out my Patreon link in my video description to learn about what you can get for supporting me as well, like gifted Twitch subs, postcards, and way more. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more in-depth Gwent guides, and see you in-game.